Thursday night live Q&A. I'm Tracy Madsen. I'm a certified professional dog trainer and certified behavior consultant. Um, and I am really excited to be here to answer all of your training questions. And I am joined by my 3 dogs right now who think I have some food and I don't. Um, and you might see my cat behind me. So yes, if this is your first time, welcome. Hello, Renee. If this is your first time, let me know your name and where you're from. Renee, I can almost spell your last name now without looking. Actually, I shorten it. I go to the Z, the first Z, and then I leave off the rest. Okay, so I will just put Brian down because I know he is going to join you in a minute. So, yes, full disclosure, I've been sick. I taught 2 classes. Hey, Nicole. Yeah, we love to have you, even if it's for a little while. And you can always check back and see if you won. So if I sound bad, Monday night, you guys, I had the worst puppy class. Like, it was so stressful. And I have a head mic. Hey, Brian, I already put you in the drawing. And if Maddie and Willie go in the other room, I'll see if Jade will pick the thing tonight. Julie, how are you, Julie? So I use a head mic just because it's really the place that I teach classes, the acoustics are not very good, and so I can't talk over people, and especially dogs barking. So I wear a head mic, and even with that, I felt like I was trying to talk over kids running around and dogs. And I usually have these rules about you can only have, like, 2 people can come per dog, well-behaved kids, 12 and over, but I don't know. I let other kids come and younger kids, and I had kids chasing puppies around, and oh my gosh, it was so bad. So I lost my voice Monday night, but then by the next day, it turned into a sore throat, and it turned into like a whole head cold thing. So luckily, I'm feeling better today, but I don't know how long my voice will last. Lisa, welcome. Lisa, you will have to remind me where you are from. And then once I write it down, hopefully I'll remember it. Okay, Nicole, I'm super excited though today. Moose is doing excellent in nose work. Awesome. Isn't it fun? I love doing nose work. I have a webinar at 8 for props during dog training. I'm also thinking about signing up for recallers through Susan Garrett. That would be amazing. I actually started, Wisconsin. Okay. I just thought when you said hi, Tracy, I thought you'd been on here before, but yeah, that makes sense as to why I didn't recognize your name. So welcome. Love having new people, and nothing is off the table. I'll try to answer anything, unless it's like a medical question that I'm not qualified to answer. But any training behavior question. If nobody has any questions right off, I'll talk a little bit about Halloween and what to do with your dogs during Halloween. So, Nicole, I actually started following Susan Garrett and listening to some of her podcasts. And I can't remember who turned me on to her. It actually it could have been you. or somebody else, but I started listening to her stuff and looking at it. So, um, yeah, if you do sign up for it, tell me how it is. So I'll tell you, it is a lot easier for me to train. Oh, um, so Julie, really the only kind of nose work you could do inside a crate would be like a snuffle mat. So if they're just laying in a crate and there's not a lot of room to sniff, it might be a little bit hard. But you could put a snuffle mat in there with them in their crate. You could hide a few pieces of kibble or treats like under the bed, under a blanket or something. Like the crate that I have in my living room is, ginormous. And so I probably could put treats like under blankets and, under the bed and like let them root around and sniff. So yeah, you could do it. It just depends on how big the crate is. But I've been reading a lot lately on doing nose work and scent work, and it's really good for dogs. It's so enriching. It gets them using their nose. They're natural foragers anyway. So both of the behavior cases that I did today, I had them starting on nose work and enrichment. Like right out. They thought we were going to get into like, why is my dog reactive? What can I do to make my dog not reactive? And it's like, first, we want to make sure that all your dog's needs are being met. And that is letting them do things that normally dogs would do if they were in the wild, like a village dog. And that would be foraging, nose work, sniffing out food. So, yeah, so I'm glad. Yeah, you can totally do it. Wilma will actually be taking her retest for CGC on Halloween. Nice. So where I live, and then Facebook user, I will answer your question. But if you want to tell me your name, because on my end it just says Facebook user. If you want to tell me your name and where you're from, I can enter you in our drawing for a free bag of training treats. And guess who just came running over because they heard back? Okay, you guys can each have one. Okay, there's Jade. There's Maddie. There's Willie. Okay, now you guys have to go lay on your bed and behave. Okay. So yeah, this will enter you in the drawing, and you can get a free bag of treats. So, so for Halloween, I'm actually where I live. They don't do really trick or treating anymore. They do trick or trunk. Hey, Kirsten. Hi, Kirsten. They do trick or trunk, so I don't really get trick or treaters. And honestly, the kids in the neighborhood are terrified of my dogs anyway, so it all works out. But I am going to a client's house and just helping her. We're going to watch a movie, eat dinner, and her dog is super reactive whenever somebody knocks on the door. So I'm just going to kind of help with her dog. I'm going to be taking one of my dogs, and we're just going to hang out for Halloween. So, okay, let me get caught up just in writing names down. Bill. Molly had a good vet visit. She weighs 10 pounds, 10 weeks old. Awesome. That's cool. Okay, and then so we have Bill. Oh, and my pen's not working. So we have 2 people from Illinois, 2 people from Oklahoma, 1 from Virginia. So Joan, my brother lives in Virginia. So you have a beautiful state. I was there once over Thanksgiving, and it was amazing. We went hiking a lot. My brother probably never wanted me to come back and visit because I hiked his little rear end off. But then I went back after their first child was born, and it was May. And oh my gosh, we put in a garden, and my sister-in-law was pregnant, so she couldn't really help. And we moved so much dirt that they just dumped in the parking lot because they lived in like a condo place. And I'm not used to humidity and the heat, and it was, oh my gosh, it was so hot. It gets hot here, but we don't have the humidity, so. Okay, let me go back and answer questions. Okay. When I'm outside, my dog won't potty, probably part my fault, but after 20 minutes or so, I come in. He uses the pee pad, but would love outside. Okay. Sorry, my throat's sore, so I'm going to be drinking a lot. This is what I do. Hey, Willie, don't bother her while she's eating her toy, or she'll growl at you. I'm kind of managing my own dogs because Jade just took Willie's chew toy, and he's going to see if he can get it back, and I know Jade will growl at him. So it's never a dull moment around here. So what I do is I go out and make sure that you go out with your dog on leash. And the reason for that is a lot of times if they go out and they're sniffing or exploring or playing, then they forget about going potty, and then they come back in, and then they suddenly realize, oh yeah, I gotta go potty. And so then they potty inside. So I just walk them around on leash and keep saying, like, go potty. And so it's not fun. It's not playtime. They can sniff, but it's sniffing so that they'll go potty. I honestly would get rid of the pee pads. I'm not a big fan of pee pads just because I feel like it teaches the dog to go inside and in the house instead of going outside. So if your dog doesn't go after 20 minutes, come in and crate them. Either crate them or tether them to you so that you can watch and keep track of them. That way they can't like move away out of sight and have an accident. But as soon as you see them kind of start to sniff, circle, then, or if you see them squat and start to go, then you can interrupt. And I usually say, oh, hey, come on, outside. And then immediately take your dog outside and tell them to go potty, and then reward them for pottying outside. So that's what I do. The only time that I really like pee pads is I had one client that they were elderly and they lived like on the 10th floor of this apartment building, and there's no way that they were going to get downstairs and outside fast enough. So we did use a pee patch, but it was one of those fake grass, and you spray it with this stuff that makes the dog want to go there. But if you have easy access to outside, I would just go out, walk around, and then if your dog goes, then they get free roam of the house. Like they've gone number 1, number 2, they get rewarded, and then you don't really have to watch them. I still like to watch them because they might chew something or get into something, but I don't have to worry about them potting in the house. But if they don't go, then they're either crated or they're tethered to me so that I can catch them, or they're going to most likely hold it in the crate because they don't want to go to the bathroom where they sleep. So that's what I would do. Let's see, Nicole. Moose has started laying down at the right container. Then on one rep, I wasn't sure if he was really on odor, but the next one, he also put his paw on the container as well as laying down. That's awesome. This is like encouraging me to, I've got to start doing more nose work with Jade. I just haven't had time, but she loves to do it. And she's actually being trained as a migraine alert dog, so I need to start getting her on that odor. and some of it she's already doing, but um, like it's really weird. She can detect some of them, and the other times I'm like, oh, I have a migraine. How come you didn't tell me? And so it's not 100% yet, but it's my fault because I haven't really been practicing with her a lot. Oh my gosh, I got to take a picture of Willy Wonka is sitting so funny right now. I had to hurry and take a picture. He's my little special needs guy, and he just gets in the weirdest positions because his back legs are all wonky. Oh, let's see, Kim. I gotta write Kim down. I don't know how long my voice is gonna last tonight. My sore throat kind of. I was awake since 3 a.m. and my throat was so sore, and then about 5 a.m. it started to go away, and now it's back because I've been talking all day. Okay, Michigan. I got Joan, and I got Bill. Okay, so I think I'm caught up. Okay, let's see. Oh, you do trunk or treat here. Wilma went last year and did great, but not sure if she would still do as well. Nicole, I'm an introvert too, surprisingly. Like I love doing this kind of stuff, but I'm not super social, and I very rarely go to like parties that my friends throw. And so I actually love that they do trunk or treat now, because then I don't have to, worry about the kids coming over and trying to keep the dogs in and all of that kind of stuff. So, what are you guys sniffing? Maddie. So, yeah, they do it at the church in the parking lot, and usually I just stay home and watch scary movies because I love scary movies. But this Monday I'm going to go to a client's house and kind of help her. So, but yeah, I get the whole introvert thing. I live by myself, and I had my cousin living with me for 2 years because he needed a place to stay, and it was really, really hard. And I finally said, dude, you got to go. You got to find a place to live because I can't. I need my space back. Yes, Kirsten, they do. Sometimes if I say like treat your dog or click, if I talk about clickers, they will sometimes hear something and then they'll kind of run over to me. Like if they hear the bag of treats, they'll come running over. So yeah, they do. And when I have clients come here, usually I put 2 of them in crates, and then one of them's outside. Oh, I wish you guys could see how he's hysterical. So because Jade is a fence jumper, she usually has to be crated if I have a client here with a dog. And she'll like hear the clicker and think like, oh, I hear the clicker. How come I'm not getting treats? But I think they're just used to it by now, so they kind of know that when they're in the crate, it's not about them. We're doing training with somebody else. Okay. Have no idea who Grandma is, but okay, so I think I answered all the questions that we have so far. So let's talk about Halloween a little bit, just because it might be kind of scary for some dogs with the costumes and things. What I like to do, just so I'm not always trying to keep the dogs in while I answer the door, or back when I did Halloween, I would like put them in another room or have a baby gate. So I used to have a baby gate at my front door so I could open the door and the dogs couldn't get out. Um, Another thing you could do is put the dogs like in a crate, give them a stuffed frozen Kong or a lick mat or something like a snuffle mat or something that they can do inside the crate so they can do something fun while um, you're answering the door and doing trick or treat. Um, it can be a really good way to socialize younger dogs to things like costumes, but you want to make sure that you do it in a way that it's really positive. So if you have a puppy and you open the door and it's like, oh, look at that scary ghost treat. And like, look at that Frankenstein treat. So you're pairing like the costumes and stuff with yummy treats. So a lot of times, especially during COVID, we did this. I would tell people to dress up. Kids loved it because they got to dress up. So it's like you get to play dress up, and you're going to come out and toss treats to your puppy, just so they get used to different looks, different things, and it's a good way to socialize. Allowing the dog to move away if they're scared, and if they are, like tossing treats to them. One thing you could do is if you have a puppy or a younger dog, the kids are at the door and you can say, I'll give you your treat, but first you've got to toss treats to my dog. So then the like costume is, they're tossing treats to your dog, which is going to like be a positive association. And most kids would probably be like, yeah, of course I'll do it, because if I don't, you're not going to give me any treats. So you could do that. And sometimes it's just easier. When I had Hallie, she was pretty reactive to like the door and to people that she didn't know. She would be terrified. So I always just put her in a crate, gave her something to chew on in the crate, and I just had her in there. So, yeah, you can do either one. I just got a thing that says connectivity issue, so hopefully you guys can still hear me. Okay. Kirsten, do you think taking a more confident dog out with insecure Ollie will help him? Yes, I actually do. Let me write Anita down. Hi, Anita. I kind of know from experience. My pen's not working. So when I got Hallie, she was terrified of everything. She loved other dogs, but she was afraid of people, afraid of new situations. And we often had to do, not had to, but they asked us to do like, go to different fundraisers or different events because she was one of the victory dogs. So those kinds of things would terrify her. But I had adopted another pit bull right before I adopted Hallie, who was very confident and just like one of the best dogs ever. And so I noticed a difference between when I would just take Hallie out by herself. Her tail would be tucked the whole time. She would almost just shut down when people would come up and want to pet her. But then when I took Tacoma with her, she had a lot more confidence because he was like her security blanket. So as long as he was there, I wouldn't have to carry her in the building. Like she would walk with Tacoma into the building. And she really took a lot of cues from him, like, because he loved everybody. And so he would let anybody pet him. So it worked out really well. And so I do think that if If Ollie's really insecure, one thing that you want to make sure you do is always give Ollie agency. So if Ollie doesn't want to approach something, don't make him. Um, I had a client here today whose dog was super nervous and really shy and doesn't like kids. And so this dog will growl and lunge at kids. But kids are just like, oh, it's such a cute dog. I want to pet him. So I told her to get a vest. So you can get a vest from like Amazon, and just all it has to say is in training. So when people see the vest and see in training, I think there's um, some patches even. Like I have a bunch of. Oh, so now all the dogs came running because they thought it was food. There's. I got this for Jade's new vest, and I honestly haven't even opened it yet. But you can. It doesn't have to say like service dog or anything, but just like this one, in training. And if your dog's really insecure and doesn't like people coming up, just say, oh, sorry, my dog's in training, so you can't pet him right now. And then this one, do not pet. You don't have to explain to anybody. Just say, sorry, my dog's in training, you can't pet him. So if you have both of these on the vest, on both sides, then it's going to help you be able to take Ollie out and, get him used to some situations and stuff. But yes, I definitely think taking a confident dog out will help. And not so much from a training perspective, but just because I went through that with Hallie and I saw how much it helped her to have Tacoma with her. It was amazing. So almost every event that we did, Tacoma was always there with her. I think there was only once or twice that I had Hallie without Tacoma, and she just didn't do as well. She, even by then, she had like trust in me, but she was still really nervous in public and, events and stuff like that. So, she'd be a little bit more like tail tucked and shy and things like that. She got to the point where she would let people approach her and pet her, and she would take treats out of their hand. But again, she did much better when Tacoma was with her. So, Kirsten, I can't remember. Do you have another dog with, or do you just have Ollie? Because if you have a friend or a neighbor that has a really good social, confident dog, you could even go for walks with that dog and visit places where, like a Home Depot or something like that. Wherever you want to take Ollie, you can take him with another dog if you have access to one. It's too bad you don't live closer, because I have 3 right now. I have 3 really good dogs that are super social and confident that I would trust to go anywhere with another dog and be fine. This is actually the first time that I've had 3 dogs at the same time that were super social and, pretty behaviorally sound. So it just kind of worked out that way. Okay, so we talked about Halloween and kind of what to do with your dogs. I've actually known people that when they take their kids around to trick or treat, they'll take the dog too. And you could totally do that depending on if you have a confident dog. Sorry, I'm going to start coughing. If you have a confident dog, it's probably fine. If you have a shyer dog, make sure you take treats so that if your dog looks at a costume or somebody in a costume, then, then you can pair that with treats. Let's see. I have 2 small dogs that are not fans of Catahoula. I am currently taking care of my niece's dog who is much bigger and way more confident on outings. Yeah, so take your niece's dog with them. Um, and if you have a confident dog, because I totally believe that they learn some things by watching the other dogs. In fact, we had worked with Hallie by this time it had been a month or two, and we couldn't even get her to approach and take a treat or hand target. She would just sit there and almost shut down. So the trainer that I was working with at the time said, well, let's just start training Tacoma, because I wanted him to be a therapy dog anyway. So we started doing like hand targeting and some easy stuff, and we let Hallie watch. And we didn't force her to do anything. She just sat and watched. And one day she stood up on her own and walked over to my trainer and offered a hand target because she had seen Tacoma doing it. And it's like, okay, nothing bad's happening to him. He's doing this easy thing and he's getting treats. And so then she just offered it after watching him. So yes, it's amazing what a confident dog can do. And then I have a picture somewhere of when I adopted her, they told me that she wasn't a fan of children. In fact, when she was at her foster home, I guess the neighbor kid had come to the sliding door, and Hallie kind of ran up and nipped and then hurried and ran back and hid. And I have a picture of Hallie walking up to a 2-year-old who was my trainer's daughter and taking a treat from her, which was like huge for her. So yes, definitely. Okay. What other questions do you have? Especially you first time new ones. Any questions you want to ask, I'm here to answer them. Nicole, what part did Wilma miss on her CGC? When I did my CGC test, I practiced the meet a friendly stranger and passing by a neutral dog. I did that probably 100 times just to get my dog used to it. The other thing I would do is go out in the front and practice, like as much of the test that I could do by myself, but I would practice doing like 5 to 10 minutes. Hey, Willie, come here. She's going to growl at you. So I would practice like for 5 or 10 minutes with no treats and then treat at the end. Just so he wouldn't expect the treat after each thing, like when we were teaching him. So he would learn like, okay, we're going to do like 5 minutes worth of stuff and then I get a really good treat, or then I get a squeaky toy. I'm going to go grab Willie a chew item really quick because he really wants to take Jade's, and Jade's going to say no. So excuse me just for 1 second. Come here, let's get you something. Look. So I have 2 of the very same thing. So Willie can have one, and then Jade can have one. And now I don't have to worry about them fighting over the same one. I mean, they don't fight. It's just that if Jade has it and Willie tries to go up, Jade will just growl at him. And now she decided she doesn't even want it. So go figure. But Willie got his back. Willie had it first, and then Jade took it. And so now Willie has it back. There's nothing like doing managing. It's like management all the time. Okay. Bill, Yes, and check back and see if you won the drawing. Even if you have to leave, you're still in the drawing. So, okay, Facebook user. I have a 3-year-old Yorkie and almost 2-year-old Dachshund. The Yorkie does not like to play, but the 2-year-old loves to play, but I don't think he understands not to play with the Yorkie. And okay, so the Yorkie doesn't like to play. So what I do first, I would get the 2-year-old, which is the Dachshund. I would set up play dates so that your Dachshund can play with other dogs and be social and um, have that outlet of playing. And then, and that's like a separate thing I would do. When you're home, give the Yorkie a safe place to go. So it's like when I have puppies come to stay with me, um, Maddie's 11 and she is super chill and super patient with puppies. They can climb all over. They can climb all over her and she'll just like move her head, never growls, never anything. So we kind of have this unwritten rule that when she goes in her crate, which the door is open, then she's off limits to puppies. So if I see a puppy going over to the crate and try to interact with her while she's in there, I redirect them. And sometimes I'll even close the door so they can't get to her so she can have her safe spot and her downtime. So make sure that your Yorkie has a place to go. And that just means to the Dachshund, doesn't want to play and, off limits. So even if you set up a crate that's like just for the Yorkie and he or she, I don't know if the Yorkie is a male or female. Anyway, I'll just say he. So he knows he has a place to go where he can be safe and that's his, like, it's kind of going in your room and shutting your door. So that's what I would do. And rather than trying to teach your Yorkie to play, which is hard. I mean, if he doesn't want to play, that's kind of like with Nicole and I, it's like, okay, we're going to make you be social. We want you to play. We want you to be social. So I'm going to take you to all these parties so you learn how to be social. Trust me, it's not going to work. So if the Yorkie really doesn't like to play, we don't want to make him. So we want a safe place, but we also need an outlet for the 2-year-old. So with the Dachshund, I would do some fun things like nose work, snuffle mat, these kinds of treat dispensing toys. So the Dachshund has something else to do. We'll help tire him out, but I would also try to set up play dates so the Dachshund can play. And then as long as he gets that outlet and can play, then when he comes home, hopefully he will give the Yorkie some space. I would also, if he plays too rough with the Yorkie, what does the Yorkie do? Like, does the Yorkie run away or does he snap or growl or tell him off? Because, to some extent, I let dogs kind of communicate. So, like, if the Dachshund's playing too rough, if the Yorkie turns around and like snaps at him, and then the Dachshund backs off, then that's great. They've had a conversation, and the Dachshund learns Yorkie doesn't like that. But if the Yorkie tries to correct him and the Dachshund doesn't take the hint, then that's when I step in and I'm like, okay, he doesn't want to play with you. So we're going to take you over here and give you this to do, which can be stuffed Kong, snuffle mat, flirt pole, something like that. So I'm going to give you that to do. And then the Yorkie can have some space. My dogs are trying to like play right now. It's like I have this 11-year-old dog. So just because I'm going to show you this so you can see their body language. So they're totally doing their little like, this is how they instigate play. Like they'll do this little freeze thing, but look at their tails. Like their tails are really neutral. They'll do this little, that little dance. I call it the dance. This little thing they're doing, and this is how they start playing. It's pretty hilarious. They'll do that for a few minutes before they even start playing. So it's pretty cute. Okay. Kirsten, have you ever trained cats? No. But I have a friend that does. Like she trains cats and dogs, and I have another friend that trains cats and dogs and parrots or birds. And I know that you can clicker train a cat, but I've just never done it. I've thought about clicker training my cat to like hand target or to station or something like that. I just haven't done it. But yes, you can train cats. I just haven't really done it a lot. But I call my friend that's a trainer in Salt Lake, and I do ask her questions like, what's some enrichment I can do with my cat, or how do I teach my cat to do this? And so she usually helps me out with that. Maria, I need to write you down. Thank you for all your tips. It's really made a difference with my dog. Awesome. The engaged disengaged has been great. I know I love that. It's like my go-to for almost everything. I've learned to read her in situations better. We're also more relaxed. Oh, that's so awesome. I love hearing stuff like that. Thank you. I'm actually going to take a picture of your comment just so I can send it to the Pupford people so they know how much fun these. I mean, I love doing these lives, but just so they can see that it's good. It's a benefit. Okay, let's see. Dakota does the same thing with the toys with Ellie. Yeah. I mean, I really only have to worry about Jade is the only resource guarder I have. I mean, Willie will guard his food and stuff if I have puppies over, but he pretty much just kind of like bumps them with a, or he'll try to like head them off and then go back to eating. But he sometimes will growl, but not really. She growls and shows teeth. Yeah, so again, like if Jade does that, and honestly, you guys, I'm going to be honest, it took a while and training on my part to not get after her for doing that, because it's our first instinct when we hear a dog growl to say, hey, knock it off. And I probably down the line used to do that, but that's just their way of communicating. And I want my dogs to be able to communicate and say, hey, back up. This is my crate. This is my bed. This is my food. And I don't let them fight by any means. But if one growls and the other one backs away, perfect. I don't need to get involved. But I am kind of like watching out of the corner of my eye, and I'm thinking, okay, Jade has the toy. Willie's getting a little close, and Jade's going to growl at him pretty soon. So if I can avoid that by getting another toy, and, I'm going to do that. But, yeah, if she growls and shows teeth, usually, and then if a dog, like, really wants that, I'll go get another toy. I probably have 2 of almost every toy so that they all have the same one. It really doesn't matter because they always want the one that the other dog has, even though it's the exact same toy. So, Anyway, um, Anita, someone I trust told me giving dogs fennel bulbs, I don't know what that is, would help with deodorizing her burps and gas. Has anyone had experience with that? She liked it. Doesn't say no to much, but doesn't seem to help with issues yet. I honestly don't know what that is. So I can't speak to that, but I've never heard of anything that would help deodorize. And let me tell you, my dogs have gas, and sometimes it is really bad, and sometimes it's Jade, and Jade goes almost everywhere with me. So when we're in public and she has gas, it can be pretty bad sometimes. Sometimes I think it could be their food. So if it doesn't agree, a bulb vegetable. Okay. Yeah, I've never tried that. But I might look it up. So let me find my pen. Can you tell that I don't eat many vegetables? Because I didn't even know what that was. I do. I will eat them raw, like in salads and stuff, but I don't really like cooked vegetables. Which is really hard being vegetarian when you don't like cooked veggies. Some I do. Like I like green beans. I love asparagus, but like broccoli and cauliflower cooked, there is no freaking way. So anyway, no, I haven't heard of that, but if anybody else on here has, feel free to put something in the chat. And I will look it up. So it has a slight licorice taste. Oh, I might like it because I love licorice, especially black licorice. It's my favorite. And then you can use it in salads. Awesome. Well, maybe I'll get some for my salad and then give it to my dogs and see. So, like, I will put vegetables in Maddie's food because Maddie is always hungry. She's the big blue-nosed pit bull that you saw. She's always hungry. So instead of giving her like more food, I will supplement her food with, and I usually just put the frozen veggies in and she'll eat it. But I'll do carrots, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans. Sometimes I just get the mixed veggie thing and then dump a bunch in. So she's getting more food, but healthy stuff. And there was a point when she got really heavy because she was on pred. And so I had to kind of put her on a diet because she also has lower back, and her back knee has issues. And so we wanted to get some weight off her. Now she's at a good weight. Now we're actually trying to maintain and not have her lose anymore. So I supplement her with vegetables all the time. So yeah, I would try the fennel. Is that how you say it? Fennel? And see if it works, because it can't hurt. And yes, I can attest, since all three of my dogs sleep with me, they have gas. Very low in calories. White bulb bottom looks like scallions or celery. Huh, interesting. So what part do you give the dog? Do you give them the lacy part, or do you give them the white bulb part? Just so, or does it matter? Because I know that Maddie would eat that. I'm not sure about Willie, if he would eat it, or Jade. I don't know. They're pretty food motivated, so they probably would. Just not 100% sure. Okay, there's always supplements that they say do this to help with shedding, or do this. And honestly, I've never had a lot of it work. Although do have some the stuff that I squirt on their food, and it's like a salmon oil, has salmon oil in it, and it actually has helped with Willie's shedding because he sheds horrendously, and it has not taken it away altogether, but it has helped it. Let's see, the bulb end and rib, but she can't chew the rib as well. Okay. I'm going to look it up and I'm going to try it. So I have some friends that I've known since I moved up here, so over 30 years. And Jade goes to church with me, so sometimes when they come in, and I always sit in the back row so that if I do need to take her out, I can. And it's just easier having her kind of out of the way. But sometimes, like, she'll have the worst gas, and I'll just lean over and be like, oh my gosh, Kurt, we're in church. Could you, like, not do that? And everybody laughs and thinks it's funny because I blame it on whoever I'm sitting by, depending on how well I know them. If it's somebody I don't know, obviously I wouldn't do that. But you could always do that. Just blame it on somebody else. Okay. Any other questions? Or do you guys want to just do a drawing and be done? I'm just going to go look over this really quick and make sure I didn't skip over anybody. Oh my gosh, I'm getting congested again. Last 2 nights in a row, I have been up at like between 1:30 and 3 because I was so congested I couldn't breathe and my throat was sore. And then this morning I started feeling better. I actually do feel better than I did, but I can feel that congestion coming back. Okay. Oh, Kirsten, so going back to your comment about training cats, I've gone to seminars and stuff where they have you clicker train chickens and like bunny rabbits, just to show that you can really clicker train any animal. The other trainer that works with me, she volunteers at a wildlife rescue, and she goes twice a month. And it's a family-owned thing, just on behind their house. And this woman has trained all these animals to move to the side. So when she comes in to feed, she'll say side, and the animals will move to the side so that they can open the door. With the raccoons, they've taught them like place. So just so they can walk in and give the food or clean their enclosure and stuff, they have taught the raccoons to like jump up on the top of their bed, so to speak. So I do know that you can train foxes. They've trained skunks, raccoons. I think they've even trained the coyotes. They have some coyotes there to like, move to the side, stuff like that. So I also have a friend that does kind of a mentoring program, and she requires her students to train at least 2 different species. So most of them are working with her for cats or for dogs, but she will require them to work with a second animal like a cat or a bird, or a rabbit or something like that, just because it helps with your mechanics and stuff like that. So anyway, oh, Julie, thank you. No, I did take a sick day already. I took yesterday, I got up and I was going to go to work because I hate counseling on people, but I was just going to wear a mask. And my first two actually canceled because they were sick. And so I thought, oh, good, I can go do one and be fine. And then as the afternoon wore on, I'm like, yeah, I can't do this. So I rescheduled that one. So I've already taken a sick day this week. And so tomorrow I only have one to do tomorrow. So it'll be pretty easy. And then I can come home and rest. Let's see, Kirsten, I leash trained mine when I was home during the beginning of the pandemic. Oh, is this a cat? She will also sit when I tap my foot on the floor. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't really tried to train my cat, but I should. I do have a harness and a leash for her, and I have kind of trained her just to hold still while I put the harness on, and then we go outside with the leash because that's the only way I'm going to let her outside. Just because I live on a major highway and all the cats that are free roaming outside get hit, and I don't want my cat to get hit by a car, so she has to be an indoor cat. But I literally have to rotate. So, like right now, since I'm doing this and I can't watch the dogs as much, I have the dog door open so they can go out and go potty if they need to. Maddie and Jade can hold up, but Willie can't, so it's just up. So when the dog door's up, the cat is in her condo behind me. Then when I get done, I'll close the doggy door and let the cat out. So we do that all day long, just like rotate so the dogs can go out, in and out, but then the cat also gets plenty of time out to roam around. Honestly, I wish I could train my cat to not want to go outside, but as soon as she learned how to use the dog door, it was all over. We would be outside and all of a sudden there was the cat on the back steps. And I really do not want her to get hit by a car. That would be devastating. So she only gets to go out if she is on a harness and a leash. But yes, I have had to kind of train her to, at first she kind of just laid there like, what is this and why, what are you doing? But she's kind of learned that when I have this on, I get to go outside. I have like a 20-30 foot leash for her so she can walk around and explore and sniff, but I can keep her from like jumping the fence and stuff like that. So Kirsten, I think that's awesome that you've trained your cat. That's awesome. I might experiment with Sammy and just see if I can lure her into a sit or lure her into a down or something like that. Because I think it would be really fun. I know when I was working at the rescue, I kind of started to clicker train some cats, like to target and to come forward and target, just so we didn't have to reach in and pull them out. A lot less stressful if they'll just come to the front and target, and then we could do their vaccines or do whatever. But I didn't do it long enough there to really have. I was more overwhelmed by all the dogs we had, so I didn't get to spend a ton of time trying to train the cats, but what I did do was super fun. So yeah, you could totally do it. Okay. Since we don't have any more questions, I'm gonna do a drawing. I need to get everything. I'm gonna tear all these up and put them in a bowl. Okay, and tonight it is Kim McCain from Michigan. So Kim, congratulations. Kim, what you're going to do is email hello@pupford.com. I just put it in the chat, and let them know what kind of treats you want. If you're new to this, they have salmon, beef liver, rabbit, chicken, and sweet potato. And they have some new ones. I think they have banana and blueberry. So they will send you out a free bag. And I love their treats. I mean, I don't have to use just their treats, but that's all I use now. Like solely Pupford treats. Just because I like they're perfect size, they're only calorie, and I've not met very many dogs that don't like it. So anyway, congratulations. Now you can try Willie. Willie's barking now because he just saw me get the bag of treats, and now he thinks it's treat time. Okay, so you guys have a good weekend. Have a safe and happy Halloween. And I will see you guys next week. Probably it'll either be Wednesday night or Thursday night. We'll probably do an earlier one since this was a later one. Willie, look at him. He's ridiculous. He is like talking to me. What? He knows the treat bag's up here, so then as soon as I put the camera on him, he stops. All right. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining, and hope to see you guys next week, especially you new guys, gals. I hope you learned something and will come back. So thank you. I hope I feel better as well because I hate being sick. So hopefully by next week when I see you guys, I will be all better. So have a great weekend, and we will see you soon.